Yo, 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 what's crack-a-lackin'? I'm back with another video. If you've been rocking with me for a while, welcome back. If you're new, I also welcome you. I want to talk today about people pleasing and how this is actually idolatry. So, this is somewhat of a follow up, I guess you could say, from one of the videos I did not too long ago called Let Them Reap the Consequences. And so maybe I might put that somewhere on there linked if you want to go look at that. But I wanted to make this particular video just to kind of talk about the spiritual implications of some of this stuff. So this content really right here is more so for the believer, the follower of Christ, but honestly, it's for anyone who has ears to hear. So the last thing I'm gonna do is gatekeep anybody from this information and say you can't listen because you ain't whatever. Whoever has ears to hear, let them hear. Whatever it takes for your breakthrough, or just seeing it in a different perspective. Maybe this is what you needed. I'm glad you're here. Let's get into it. So it took me some time to really understand this, and I think I'm not really sure how many people do know this or would associate people pleasing with idolatry. I think I have been starting to see a little bit more dialogue on it, but this was something personally that I had to realize was a thing, for myself. So for me to personally get personal revelation, that's what it took. So when you people please, right, you're at their mercy, right? So if somebody asks you to do certain things, you jump up, you hop up to do it, without hesitation. Or maybe even if there is hesitation, you just are that person. They know they can call on you. Why? Because you're gonna get it done. And the only time that you probably would say no is when it's like physically impossible. But for the most part, you have laid down, your life, whether it was your time, your energy, or whatever, that as soon as they called, you was going to jump up and do it. You were going to meet their demands, requests, favors, whatever. So this is idolatry. And for whatever reason that you do it, whether it's out of fear of the consequences, because some of these people that we deal with in our life, if you say no, they get really fiery, right? So that was kind of one of the points that I was also talking about in the Let Them Reap the Consequences video, about some people having certain temperaments and having certain responses that range from either passive aggressive to just utterly explosive. And it could really just be quite manipulative and emotionally abusive, right? So maybe it's fear of those consequences, or maybe it's just like, maybe it's not even all of that. It's just you have positioned yourself in a way where you are trying to serve and do all these things just out of really craving affection and the validation of the person or people that you serve, right? So regardless of what your reasons are, I want us to all be clear that people pleasing is idolatry. And I'm going to throw this in there as well. So this is not to say that it's a bad thing to do things for people. No, I think it's a great thing to regard people and be thoughtful and say like, I think I would like to do this. Or, when someone's in need, you're able to back them up. That's never a bad thing, right? But we're talking about a repetitive thing that you might be doing, and that people are expecting of you, and you just kind of get looped into that cycle over and over again, to make sure that the favor, the demand, etc. is met, right? So where this gets really, really bad is that when you live a lifestyle like this, that means that man is able to dictate your life, right? And so we know that as disciples of Christ, the only one whom we should serve, right? We got to love the Lord our God with all of our heart, soul, mind, and strength. So for us to be giving some level of devotion like that to somebody else, that's a no-no, right? So when you allow man to dictate your life because you want to be in favor with them, you have made man your God, right? You have molded yourself to be someone that they want you to be. And so I say this not as condemnation, not to flex or prop myself up or anything at all. So I'm gonna show you how. I'm gonna just tell you a little bit about how I know, right? So me getting on these videos when I do a teaching or I do this or whatever, it's like it's a lesson that I'm learning in the moment, or like I've gone through it. So like I just want to put it out there that like in a previous time I was probably the poster child for people pleasing, like seriously. So that's why I'm just like, listen, I will never judge you for this, because like I know where I was at. And if I ever get to that level, I think God will humble me real quick and be like, sis, do you know where you was? Do you know where your children are? So anyways, I was in idolatry when I was at my old church, right? So I was there for 29 years. But I was an official member for 13. So this is now my 31st year of life. So for 29 and a half-ish years, I was over there. But in the 13 years that I was a member, like, yeah, I was trying my best to fit into the system. I was doing whatever people asked me. It wasn't until like in some of the like the latter years, maybe like the latter year and a half maybe, or something like that, where I started to like speak up more for myself. But I was just doing whatever people asked me to, and if I didn't, then it was because I was at capacity or whatever. But I was trying to make myself work that system as best as I could, out of validation. I mean, part of it was because I'm like, okay, I think that because I didn't know any better, and I was just like, oh yeah, like, well, this is what service to God looks like. I was just I was doing that. That was also a big reason. But I didn't want to get any backlash. I wanted to know that I was doing good, and that people approved of me or whatever. So that was a big motivation for me, among other things, but we're gonna keep it right there. So idolatry numero uno. There were there were certain people in family that is just like I didn't speak up if I had an issue, or I complied to what they wanted me to do because I knew that this person or that person was going to basically get really, really like supremely upset if I said no. And there's a family member that I do have that actually, as soon as I would say no, would like verbally abuse me, emotionally, like mentally, like it just didn't even matter. It was just like it was just like it was just ruthless, right? So there were times where I was just like, you know what, I don't want the drama, let me just do it. But then once I realized there was a lot of they took a lot of toll on me, and I was just like, I need to push past this because I can't, this is too heavy a burden for me, and that's how I was able to figure out like just what happens when you say no. But yeah, That's idolatry right there. I've been in idolatry with with certain other people who, like, I had to kind of present a boundary to, because I realized that they were manipulating me. So it's just like, there goes right there. Sometimes like when I didn't have proper boundaries at my job, idolatry. So, like, there's just way too many examples in my life. And this was one of the things that God was telling me that He would really want to work with me on, to withdraw this fear out of me, because that was really what it was operated off of. It was operated off of both, like the fear plus the wanting the validation and wanting those pats on the back, because then that makes me feel like, oh yeah, I'm doing good in life, So people's approval was very, very huge for me. And so God was just like, I gotta withdraw that out of you. So yeah, so your people pleasing has been a huge yoke in my life for decades. Again, I just told y'all I'm 31. So, like, imagine that, right? So that's why I don't want y'all to feel condemned when you hear this. This is just me putting you on game, because I've been put on game. So that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to get people free. That's it. I'm not trying to do no sexy flexy nothing, whatever. I just like, yo, I know the turnaround and the breakthrough for me. I'm just trying to get people right. That's it. Get the people of God right. Get people who ain't the people of God right, that might be the people of God one day, or whoever it is. I'm just trying to get y'all right. But anyways, let me try to keep some sort of level of formality with this, right? So where am I at? I wrote notes just in case I got lost, and thank God I did. Yes. So yeah, it's been a big yoke, right? And really, it's good for us, right, to present that boundary, right? What's for us and what's for them. We need to be able to do that, because as humans, we don't have the capacity to live two lives. We don't have the capacity to put all that on us. So, and I want y'all to think about this too. I gotta tell it like it is, right? Because this is idolatry, what that means is that this is also sin, right? So if you gotta sin to please somebody, put that under high review. That's not good, right? That's not good at all. And I'm just gonna, here's what I'll say. I'm about to close out. Let this video be a sign to you. If you have seen this today and you are a believer, you believe in the Lord, and you strive to follow Christ, let this be a sign to you today that if you are in a cult, you must leave. Don't play with it no more. Whoever, this is for somebody. If you have been in a congregation and you've been getting numerous red flags, or you just been feeling like, I don't need to be here no more, but you just been trying to rationalize, let this video be a sign to you today. Get up out of there. And if you need some help, I will make the time for you. Listen to me. I will make the time for you. Okay? I will. Reach out to me if you need some support. Reach out, please. But let this be a sign to you today. Get out that cult. If you're not in a cult, but you're in a some sort of abusive relationship, and again, I'm not necessarily talking about like physical abuse. I mean, that definitely, absolutely, please, I'm praying for you, and I hope that you get help if it's physical. But it could be the emotional abuse, verbal abuse, psychological, financial. You know what I mean? Like, if you're in a relationship with somebody that doesn't, let this video also be a cue and a sign to you. You can't tolerate it no more. You can't tolerate it no more. And God does not, that's not the life that God has for you. He doesn't want you to be stuck in that. So let that be a sign to you. And one last point before I close. I'm putting this out here. This is me on like what do you call it? I guess I'm preemptively, I'm putting this out there before somebody try to hit me with it. Is there is the scripture that says carry each other's burdens, right? And yes, because it's in the word, we're going to do it. But I want you to also think about this. Are they carrying your burden? Because if you're helping to carry theirs and they're helping to carry yours, there we go. But how much of your burden are they carrying? So think about these things. I'm done. That's all I had to say today. I hope that helped you. I hope that gave you some wake-up calls, some answers. I hope it gave you some revelation. But that's what I wanted to share with y'all today. So again, thanks for rocking with me. If you want to communicate or reach out to me for anything, support, coaching, just whatever, just to say hi, it's going to be in the description box, my socials and ways I can be reached and things like that. But yeah, till next time, thanks again. And yeah, see you.